Hi there, you're tuning into Nightline with me, Nurin Razmyn. News making the headlines. Top judicial appointments, Conference of Rulers expected to make announcement on Wednesday. Morning. The Conference of Rulers is expected to announce the country's top judicial appointments on Wednesday. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim expressed hope that the move would put an end to the ongoing polemic surrounding the issue, while reaffirming his administration's commitment to upholding judicial independence. Anwar said he held extensive discussions on the matter during the pre-council meeting of the Conference of Rulers on Tuesday.
I think let them decide, and tomorrow hopefully there will be an announcement that would clearly dispel these so-called negative perceptions. But as you know, in politics, and I hope it does not affect the position of the Bar Council, because that was what they believe in.
He said this in his speech at Malaysia's International Conference of Governance and Integrity 2025 in Putrajaya on Tuesday. On Monday, the Malaysian Bar organized a peaceful march in Putrajaya to press for several demands related to judicial integrity. However, Anwar once again emphasized that he has never interfered in the appointment of judges, as alleged by certain quarters.
Although I've vehemently denied it did not satisfy at least some of them, probably some political ploys. But now that this is not the case, I don't want them to come and say, no. You did it because you were under pressure. Azalina knows that, the Chief Secretary knows the fact that there was never a case and names have been, questioned, or what seemed to be compromised has never been presented to the king or for the Malay rulers. I rest my case, and I hope, inshallah, when the announcement is made, things will prove that this government, the Madani government, is committed to reform, including the principle of judicial independence.
Now, the federal constitution provides a clear mechanism to address judicial misconduct, with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong empowered to establish a special tribunal to investigate such allegations. According to Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Datuk Seri Azalina Othman said this authority is specifically outlined under Articles 125, subsections 3 and 4 of the Constitution. In a statement, Azalina said that a judge under probe can be suspended on the advice of the Prime Minister following consultation with the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice also has the authority to refer any breach of ethics to the Judicial Ethics Committee. Azalina further explained that these provisions and process mean that the executive and legislative branches cannot interfere in judicial ethics matters. She also urged all parties to continue respecting the constitutional roles and processes that form the foundation of the judiciary's independence in the country. Azalina added that her office has taken note of the concerns raised by the Malaysian Bar Council during the Walk for Judicial Independence held on Monday. To enhance transparency in the appointment process of Superior Court judges, she stated that the government announced a comparative study on judicial appointment systems last week. The study, which will be carried out by the Legal Affairs Division in collaboration with special select committees from both the Dewan Negara and Dewan Rakyat, aims to provide greater clarity on the role of the Judicial Appointments Commission and address issues raised by the Malaysian Bar. Earlier on Tuesday, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim attended the pre-council meeting of the Conference of Rulers at Istana Negara. The 269th Conference of Rulers will continue until this Thursday. His Majesty was accompanied by his son Tunku Idris Iskandar, acting as the official representative of the region of Johor. The meeting is chaired by the Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah. Also present were the Sultan of Kedah, Sultan Salehuddin Sultan Badli Shah, the Raja of Perlis, Tuanku Said Sirajuddin Jamalul Lail, The Sultan of Perak, Sultan Razmyn Shah, the Yang di-Pertuan Besar of Negeri Sembilan, Tuanku Muhriz Tuanku Munawir, the Crown Prince of Kelantan, Tengku Muhammad Fakri Petra, and Tengku Arif Bendahara of Pahang, Tengku Muhammad Iskandar Riayatuddin Shah Al-Sultan Abdullah, representing the Sultan of Pahang. Also in attendance was the Prime Minister. In another development, the Prime Minister said the Freedom of Information Bill will be tabled in Parliament soon. The move aims to strengthen transparency and provide the public with access to accurate information. Anwar stated that the reform initiative reflects a holistic approach and the government's commitment to building strong, fair and transparent institutions.
This is a vital step in building public trust and encouraging informed participation in our democracy. We'll bring this law to Parliament by the end of the year. If it is late, it's Azalina's fault, as always, so that the public can hold us to account.
In 2023, the government agreed in principle to draft the Freedom of Information Bill to establish clear parameters and guidelines that would grant the public access to information from the government or related bodies. It also aims to amend the Official Secrets Act so that both laws complement each other. Meanwhile, the draft of the Freedom of Information Bill has been completed, along with proposed amendments to the Whistleblower Protection Act. Both will be tabled during the Dewan Rakyat sitting this October.
The October session, yeah. Okay. I think everything's okay, it's on track. Saya memang berharapkan sebab kalau kita nak buat, kita kena panggil semua pihak lah, daripada pihak NGO, CSO, termasuk parti-parti politik.
Engagement sessions have also been conducted with the relevant government departments to gather their views on the matter. Moving on, the ASEAN Power Grid Roadmap is expected to begin implementation next year, once all member states finalize outstanding matters by the end of this year. The regional initiative is now in its final phase before receiving full approval from all ASEAN countries.
And one of the discussion is on ASEAN Power Grid. More or less in principle, they have agreed, it was already presented, the ASEAN Power Grid roadmap is already presented. That will be a clear schedule, and we can say, when we say the roadmap, how we want to implement the ASEAN Power Grid.
Malaysia has already connected its power grid with Thailand, Laos and Singapore, while Sarawak's grid is linked with West Kalimantan, Indonesia. The country is also planning to build a subsea power cable that will connect Sarawak, Peninsula Malaysia and Singapore. However, the proposal is still pending technical studies and trilateral negotiations involving Indonesia. The Deputy Prime Minister made the remarks on the sidelines of International Energy Week celebration in Kuching. Malaysia needs a dedicated agency to lead cybercrime enforcement as cases continue to rise nationwide. Digital Minister Gobind Singh Deo confirmed that a proposal will be presented to the Cabinet by year-end to strengthen enforcement measures.
We need to have an agency that will be able to enforce these measures. Because if you have measures alone but there's no one to enforce it, then that's going to be a problem. But that will be for something for Cabinet to decide as we move along. We have cybersecurity in Malaysia, they have the capacity.
He also said that a new cybercrime bill is scheduled to be tabled in Parliament this October. The bill will replace the outdated Computer Crimes Act, which is no longer adequate to address modern cyber threats. For the record, over 6,000 cybercrime cases were reported last year, involving losses exceeding 1.22 billion ringgit. 19 locations linked to a scrap metal smuggling syndicate across 5 states were raided by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC). The syndicate is believed to have bribed enforcement officers to avoid action being taken against them. The illicit activities have caused the government to lose over 950 million ringgit in export tax revenue over the past 6 years. The operation, dubbed Op Metal, saw simultaneous raids carried out at 6 a.m. on Monday across locations in Pulau Pinang, Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, Johor and Kedah. Investigations revealed that the syndicate had been exporting scrap metal to India and China by declaring them as machinery or other metals to avoid being imposed the 15% export tax. In Pulau Pinang, authorities raided a factory in Bukit Mertajam and found that most of the syndicate's workers were foreign nationals. Enforcement officers also discovered piles of scrap metal stored on the premises, some of which had been recycled into cubes. The MACC also raided a 3-story bungalow in Batu Maung belonging to the company owner. However, the individual who holds the title Dato was not at home as he is currently overseas. The MACC is also identifying individuals, including civil servants, who may have colluded with the syndicate. Investigations are being carried out under the MACC Act, Income Tax Act, and the Customs Act. Meanwhile, the MACC continued its operation on Tuesday morning with a raid on another e-waste processing factory located in the Perai industrial area, also in Pulau Pinang. The total value of assets seized under Op Metal across the 5 states is estimated to exceed 183 million ringgit. The seizures include luxury homes, oil palm plantations, and various luxury vehicles. A total of 45 company accounts and 82 individual accounts, valued at approximately 51 million ringgit, have also been frozen. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azambaki, when contacted, confirmed the seizures, adding that the graft buster is currently identifying parties involved in the syndicate. A husband and wife duo who are the co-founders of the controversial Ehati motivational program were detained by police earlier on Tuesday. The arrest of Diana Tahir and Rahim Shukur was confirmed to the media by their lawyer, Dato M. Reza Hassan. The couple was taken into custody by Shah Alam Police after giving their statements at the Petaling Jaya District Police Headquarters. They are being investigated under Section 294 and Section 509 of the Penal Code, as well as Section 14 of the Minor Offences Act. The matter was also confirmed by Shah Alam District Police Chief ACP Muhammad Iqbal Ibrahim when contacted by TV3. Previously, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Datuk Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, said the Selangor Islamic Religious Department JAIS would be calling in several individuals to assist in the investigation. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan also confirmed that the case falls under 3 separate legal provisions. Meanwhile, in a statement, the co-founders of the controversial program have denied allegations that their initiative undermines Islamic beliefs. The husband and wife duo claimed that the program does not neglect Islamic values, the sanctity of marriage, nor the rules of spouses and families. They also said legal action is being considered against individuals who, according to them, have made defamatory and malicious accusations. Malaysia's tourism sector continues to show strong post-pandemic recovery, with 8.4 million international tourist arrivals recorded in the first 4 months of the year. This was a 2-fold increase compared to 2020. The figure also surpasses the 7.6 million arrivals recorded during the same period last year. Tourism revenue was likewise hit a new record, exceeding 102 billion ringgit compared to 86 billion ringgit in 2019. The sector's contribution to the economy also rose to 6.6%, while tourist spending accounted for 10.6% of overall consumer expenditure, the highest it has been since 2020. Now, the rise in international tourist arrivals has been attributed to Malaysia's unique appeal and the government's active promotional efforts on the global stage. Travel and tourism organizations emphasize that sustained collaboration between the public and private sectors is crucial to maintaining this momentum in the lead-up to Visit Malaysia Year 2026. Malaysian Association of Tour and Travel Agents MATA President Nigel Wong Chun Tiem has urged state governments to intensify the promotion of key tourist attractions in order to further boost visitor arrivals.
For 2026 itself, we are also hoping that the various state governments will also chip in to improve tourist infrastructure. Things like accessibility, mobility are going to be key in moving tourists around the country.
Meanwhile, Malaysian Tourism Federation MTF President Sri Ganesh Michael has urged the government to implement stronger enforcement against illegal and unlicensed tourism operators to safeguard the integrity of Malaysia's tourism sector.
While we celebrate this achievement, it's equally important to ensure that the benefits of rising tourist arrivals flow directly to our licensed and registered hotels, travel agencies, and tourism operators.
The 25 basis point cut in the overnight policy rate OPR is expected to boost household spending and support Malaysia's economic growth. According to TA Securities, the rate cut has led to cheaper loans, which are likely to encourage consumer spending. Following the reduction, the wholesale and retail trade index rose by 4.1% in May. This was mainly driven by strong sales in the wholesale, retail and communication equipment segments. Consumer spending is also expected to continue rising, supported by stable employment and low inflation. Malaysia's economy is projected to grow by 4% in the second quarter, despite external headwinds and base year effect. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday told Russia to end its Ukraine war within 50 days or face massive new economic sanctions. Trump said he was very unhappy with Russian President Vladimir Putin, stressing that he had run out of patience over Putin's refusal to end the deadly conflict.
And one of the reasons that you're here today is to hear that we are very unhappy, I am, with Russia. But we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%.
He added that they would be secondary tariffs that target Russia's remaining trade partners, seeking to cripple Moscow's ability to survive already sweeping Western sanctions. Five, including minor, charged with trafficking 3 individuals. This and more after this breather.
Kerja kita belum selesai.
Melodi terhangat Superstar Tour tengah on the way ke lokasi-lokasi berikut. Bawa rombongan satu kampung sebab tak perlu bayar untuk kita have fun. Anugerah melodi terhangat. Hangat bukan biasa-biasa.
Suspek membunuh kedua ibu bapanya di Kampung Sungai Bercala.
Hasil ujian saringan air kencing mendapati suspek positif 3 jenis dadah.
Suspek telah mendapat bisikan dan mendorong untuk menghapuskan saka dan makhluk halus yang ada pada ibu dan ayah beliau.
2 orang saksi yang terdengar bunyi jeritan.
Thanks for staying with us. 5 members of an online sexual scam and extortion syndicate were charged in the Johor Bahru Sessions Court on Tuesday. They, however, pleaded not guilty to 3 charges of trafficking 2 teenagers and a man for the purpose of labor and sexual exploitation. 4 of the accused, Sham Chi Fei, Kwek Pei Lin, Lee Chun Kit and Tommy Vu Se Hao, are aged between 19 and 33 years old. The 5th accused is a 17-year-old male juvenile. They were charged with trafficking a 15-year-old girl, a 16-year-old boy, and a 26-year-old man in Kulai between March 23rd and May 23rd this year. The charges were framed under the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act, as well as the Penal Code. 3 of the accused were also charged in a separate court with producing child sexual abuse materials involving the same teenage victims, while another man, Abdul Rahufur Rahim Idris, aged 30, was charged with committing non-physical sexual assault that involved the 2 underage victims. All the accused were granted bail ranging from 6,000 to 35,000 ringgit, with case mentions scheduled for August 13th, 14th and 19th. The man who attacked his former lover with a knife at a private university in Subang Jaya, Selangor, has been remanded for 4 days until this Friday to assist police investigations into the case. Police have identified the alleged motive as dissatisfaction after the victim reportedly lied that the 21-year-old suspect had prevented her from leaving the house. According to Subang Jaya Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Wan Azlan Wan Mamat, the victim is being treated in the intensive care unit at University Malaya Medical Center and remains under close observation. He added that police are still recording statements from witnesses. In the 6:30 p.m. incident on Monday, the suspect allegedly slashed his 20-year-old ex-girlfriend using a knife, causing injuries to the left side of her neck. The investigation is being conducted under the Penal Code for voluntarily causing hurt with a weapon or dangerous object. If convicted, the suspect faces a maximum jail term of 10 years, a fine, or both. In Pulau Pinang, a massive fire broke out at the Juru Light Industrial Park in Seberang Perai on Tuesday, sending thick black smoke billowing ominously into the sky, which was visible across the strait. The blaze, which started at around 3:15 p.m., quickly engulfed 2 adjacent factory blocks used for processing hardware. Firefighters from several stations, including voluntary units, were dispatched to put out the fire. By 4:30 p.m., the flames showed no signs of abating, with the Fire and Rescue Department reporting that at least 60% of the buildings had been destroyed. No casualties have been reported so far. The cause of the fire and total losses have yet to be determined. All missing found after boat capsized in Indonesia. The details when Nightline returns.
Action. Ustazah, tolong saya Ustazah.
Kali ni aku yakin Abang Ria akan jadi milik aku. Padan muka kau, Mia.
I memang bodoh. You dengan Mirza memang pelakon yang terbaik. Nah, Tanya, you menang.
Nak lagi drama-drama legend? Bayar RM9.90, lagi layan ditonton.
News from the foreign front. All of the 11 people reported missing after a boat capsized off Indonesia's western island of Sumatra were rescued on Tuesday. It was reported that the boat with 18 abroad capsized on Monday morning near the Mentawai Islands. Authorities said some of those rescued were wearing life jackets and some had clung to the pieces of the overturned boat. According to testimony from one of the boat operators, the boat was struck by large waves just before it capsized. 10 of those those on board were local government officials on a business trip to the town of Tua Pejat. In other news, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the administration of President Donald Trump can proceed with plans to slash funding and resources for the Federal Department of Education. The top court's conservative majority on Monday lifted a federal judge's order that had reinstated nearly 1,400 workers affected by mass layoffs at the department and blocked the administration from transferring key functions to other federal agencies. The court's actions came in a brief unsigned order that ignited a firestorm, with 3 liberal justices issuing a fierce dissent. Monday's ruling cancels a previous order on the administration's efforts to fire the workers at the Education Department, which U.S. District Judge Myong Jun had ruled against in May, stating that it would likely cripple the department.
Gaza is a tragic...
Sports now, badminton and the 2025 Japan Open. World number 1 pair Go Si-fei Nur Izzuddin made a confident start to their title defense, but it was fellow independents Nur Azwin Ayub Tan Wee Kyung who stole the spotlight in Tokyo on Tuesday. De France. Ben Healy became the first Irishman since Stephen Roche in 1987 to take the overall lead of the Tour on Monday following a relentless attack across 8 grueling climbs in the Massif Central. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the spectacular fireworks and drone display that lit up the Eiffel Tower in Paris in celebration of Bastille Day. With that, I'm Nurin Razmyn. Thank you for watching and stay safe.